Alright, so going into this Honda bearing job, I had to remove obviously the broken stud that was here, referred to the last video, and remove the axle nut. That was what was it, 36 millimeter? Yep, 36 millimeter nut. They had jammed in this keyhole here a flathead screwdriver tip, and it broke. So what I did, I just tapped it out with the with one of these. Man, I'm figuring a lot of stuff. But yeah, tapped it out with one of these, the finest one I had. Tapped it out. This way, always trying to tap a bit outwards, and it just popped out. I don't know where it fell at, and it probably ended up with the drill bit dust scrap pile back there. So yeah, had to take that off, then take out the 36 millimeter nut, and now I'm trying to fight off this ABS sensor back here. I used a lot of penetrating fluid, put a rag on the floor, and working it back and forth till I free it with my long angled needle nose pliers. It's something you want to be really delicate with. And let me see if I can just turn on my flashlight. There we go. So yeah, you see the ABS sensor there. You try to help the client out sometimes and not make them, buy stuff. You can save it for them, and you see that it just barely moves. So you just want to make it move enough till it actually feels free. Then you just pull it out. It should come out easily. So that's for the next step of this. Once I take this out, the rest is just the caliper, the upper knuckle ball joint, the lower knuckle ball joint, and the tie rod end. Pull the whole knuckle out and go to the shop press and start pressing out that bearing. Obviously, before I press it out, I have to take out a couple snap rings, clean it up like the Scion XA video. Clean it up real good and keep on going. Next part of the video, I'm going to start jamming in this guy like that. It's just going to go in. I'm going to thread down this bolt. This bolt should go up on this and push the tie rod out, or the ball joint. This one's already loose. And same thing with the ball joint here. I'm going to put that guy in there and remove it. So just push it in there. Start going down on the thread. You got to go as in as you can. And it should pop out after a little while of cranking on this bolt, which is going to crank on this, which is going to push on this and pop it out. Alright, so this is how it looks from the top. You can see I got my gear wrench inside the ball joint already. I got it seated all the way in as far as I could. I even tapped it with a hammer through the back so it can just seat all the way in. And now, see how the ball joint stud just sticks onto this bottom part here, and this is pressuring this upwards, and this is crunching downwards, so this is just going to pop up in any minute. All I'm going to be doing is just cranking down on this guy with a wrench or a socket. You can use whatever you want. I take my time when I do my jobs. Make sure I'm doing everything right, calmly, and I don't use urgency or speedy fashion types of job, or I don't work in that type of fashion because it tends to actually get you into accidents, cutting yourself, committing errors. I mean, look at all this. Got that. Look at all this. This is working without thinking. You're breaking stuff, you're just going through stuff, and just look at this nut. This is working without thinking. You're desperate, you're working fast, you're using urgency and all this other stuff just to make yourself fail. Always take your time doing your jobs and it will come out pretty good. Alright, so for the setup, right? I'm going to push out the hub first. So you see I got these, I think it's 2x4s going side to side. And another smaller 2x4 as support and leverage. So when this thing falls, it'll just, hopefully it'll fall completely out. It's not that thick. Yeah, it should fall completely out. So yeah, my setup, so you can see that I have these two on the, I should get the C side. See that? So this could change. The setup might change, it might not. The key that you're looking for is here, the tightest grip on this center of the knuckle here. Looking for the tightest grip around here. So once you got that, and you got the height that you need for the hub to pop out and everything, then you go in. And again, I'm with my Chalet bushing removal tool, which is useful for presses also. This is the tightest fit I like for this hub to pop out. So this is a D52 by D42. Whatever that means, I just measure the diameter of the caliper, but you guys get the point. Just find the right tools to push it out, find the tightest fit, and pop down on it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have one of these. I think it's a B. Yeah. It says B right there, right? So I have to use the B side. There it is. Just pop it right there, and use this special cap here to pop it right on there, and that'll just secure everything that's linear. Now I'm gonna look for something long enough to go from here to here to start pushing this downwards. And the setup, again, you're just looking for something so you can work comfortably with. Alright guys, so this is my setup, right? I got that, I got a little socket there. I'm already pushing the hub out. So I want you guys to note this. I got the setup for the bottom. So see, I got enough space. I'm gonna have to make some more space. I'm gonna have to push these blocks a bit more outwards. But you get the idea. You want this hub to come out flush. So again, my setup is just a preview for you guys to get your job done better. So I had to modify this hub clamp here. So what I did was I bought a 5/8 by 11 threaded rod from Lowe's, galvanized, so it won't rust on me that fast. I bought some brand new nuts for it, 5/8 by 11 obviously. Made them longer because the original ones would not weren't long enough for me to go around this knuckle. So I made the longer ones, and as you can see, they're a lot longer. So now I can do bigger jobs, at least bigger size jobs with these knuckles. So right now I'm going down on it, and you can see here it's starting to push out, but I'm going to encounter a problem soon. That hub is about to hit that piece of wood, so I need to just move these pieces of wood out a little bit, enough so that hub can just fall out. And that's it. That's basically the gist for this part. Then I have to take out a snap ring that's in there, pull it out, then get a bigger, I forgot the name for this. A bigger bushing extractor. That's what this tool is about, bushing extractor tools. I'm going to use a bigger bushing pusher or bushing extractor so I can push out the bearing. You'll see that part in the next video. But there's an idea just for the setup. I just want to give you guys a good basic idea so you guys can do your jobs quicker and easier. Don't have to reinvent the wheel again. Alright. As you can see here, this is the snap ring right here. I'm going to use some external snap ring pliers. But before I do that, I'm going to clean up really good. I'm going to lube it up with penetrating fluid, and obviously a rag under here in the back. I'm going to put a rag and make sure everything is clean enough for when I pull with the snap ring, this will just come out real easy. So I'll be getting at it. I'm going to use a brass brush first. My Dremel broke down. That's why I'm not using my Dremel like in the Scion XA video. Would have loved to use that. Motor's overheating and it's rotating really slowly. I do have a roto zip that I fixed, but I don't remember where I put it at. So yeah, got a couple issues going on. But that's what I got for now. So give you guys an update on how it looks. Alright, so after cleaning it up with a couple times with this brass brush, left and right, lubed it a lot with PB Blaster, made sure that it had a lot of lube, cleaned it out again. What I started to do was, took this round punch, just went in on the hole and just started tapping on it so the rust can break off and release from this side. Then I did the same on the other side. Then what I did was started playing with the snap ring plier, in and out until now I can remove it completely by hand with the snap ring plier itself. And there you go, it's out. Now I'm going to dedicate to cleaning all these ridges internally, do the best job I can, and then I'm going to push it out with the press. Alright, so the setup. You can see my clamp here, the thread broke, bent, but again, $8 for this to get it done right. Alright, I'm happy with that for now. I just try to look for something better next time. But it worked out. So you can see the bearing already popped out. And I'm just going to keep on pushing it. I'll leave the phone still so you guys can see. So my setup is another Chalet bushing tool that just goes right through the center. Have two of these Chalet adapter units for the bushing extractors and the cap up top and the socket. See, it's pushing out really nice. Again, 20-ton press. Never go wrong with a 20-ton press. Just gotta learn how to get your setup going. This might pop out and just fall through the hole. So there you go. Popped out. So now I gotta clean out the rest. See those rust spots? So I gotta clean all that stuff out. Make sure everything is good, clean, nice, and put the new bearing in. There she goes back there. Alright, so after I got everything clean, see, it looks nice. I'm gonna put some Ultra Red Schaefer stuff again. 229 extra tacky stuff. I'm gonna start caking it around all over the place, cake up the bearing too, and then I'm gonna install it through the top with the ABS ring looking towards the back. Alright, so instead of the grease, as I told you guys in the last video, I did wipe off most of it out of the inner bearing race area, and I just dabbed some oil around the bearing. And yeah, I'm just gonna go with the oil. The reason why is because I have an ABS sensor that goes right in the back, and if I have too much caking of that stuff, that's gonna get dirt back there, might give me issues. So I'm just gonna put some light oil in there, and whatever minor grease is there, it's not gonna cake out too much. And yeah, just call it a day with that. And this is my setup. So I have the bearing there. I'm using the old bearing to push in the new bearing, and I have 2 pieces of wood and the extractor coupling and the cap for it. So I'm just gonna go down on that and start pushing that new bearing in. Alright, so as you can see here, the bearing is going straight in. Try to hold it right there. It gets noisy, so it's normal. Almost there. Almost done. I'm going to call it a day for the moment. I'm going to see what's going on. And most of the bearing is already in. I'm going to watch what's going on here. Alright, so the bearing's in. Snap ring went in flush. You can see it caked up all over the place, all over the snap ring. So that means that my snap ring is inside there flush. Another test you can do to make sure that your snap ring is correct. You can see how easy it moves. and it moves inside the groove, not out. That's another test you can do. Wow. Alright, there we go. So yeah, that's another test you can do. Just move the snap ring in place, make sure it doesn't move or anything. See that? It moves, but it stays in, it doesn't come out. So that's what you're looking for. And you know everything's clean in there because the snap ring moves freely. Now in the back, this is what I meant by caking. See that hole back there? Let's see if I can just turn on my flashlight. See that hole back there? If I would have put any more grease than what I had already did, that would have been all the way to the back caked, and I can't have that. Because see that ABS ring? That ABS ring has to be clean. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a fine pick with a rag and just clean out all the excess grease. Clean out that hole a couple times, put some grease on the sensor, on just the neck, not the sensor tip, where the tip reads the magnetic site. I'm not looking for that. Just looking for some grease on the neck of the sensor, so when I have to remove it again in some future, well, at least it'll come out easier. But as for the neck ring, as for the ring, magnetic ring itself, I have to clean that out. All that has to be cleaned out. So let's see how it goes. Alright, so this is my next part right here, another setup. Now this is for the hub. Now, this is something you need to be very careful of. That magnet, you want to make sure that you're not touching it. And as you can see, if I want to make sure that that magnet is not being touched in the back of this cup, I need to move this cup forward and make sure that at least I can see this cup 98% of this race on this side, so that way I make sure that I'm not touching the magnet on the other side, because right now I know I'm touching it. Because once I crank down on this and start going down on it, that's it. If that magnet breaks and I stay quiet about it, that BCS track or ABS light's gonna be popping up every day till he comes back and comes for warranty work, and I'm gonna have to pop that bearing out because I installed it wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna prevent that from happening. And how do I do it? Making sure I do it right the first time. So yeah, I want to make sure that cup is right dead center with that race. And the reason why I need that there is because if I just push this down, the half of the race of that bearing, so in other words, let's say so if I push right now, without having a cup here, this whole half is going to come out this way, and I'll be ending up with this. So that's why I need that cup center right here, so that way I'm pushing against this and the frame of the press, and everything is square and centered, so that hub can go in straight flush all the way to the back flush here, and that's it. Alright, so as you can see, I got my flashlight there looking directly under that bearing. I'm going to show you guys what I got. So you can see, there we go. That cup is straight center. I use actually a smaller cup so I can have more play in the center. Alright. Wow, man, this one is really... There we go. I'm trying to go back there, and I'm trying to make sure that cup is center. There we go. So you can see how nice it looks around. It looks perfectly centered. I already got the hub going back in. And that one, yes, that one is caked with grease. And it's going in pretty smooth. And nope, there's no seal going around that, just a snap ring and the hub in front of it, and that's it. So this should bottom out to the point where you can't feel it go down anymore. Alright, it's going. And that's it, bottomed out. I can't go more than that. Right now, that rod can't go lower than that. So I know it's bottomed out completely. I'm going to go back up on it. And no, it didn't fall down, I catched it. So yeah, that's pretty good. Everything is installed. Now I have to put it back on the vehicle. Alright, let's see here. Let's take this out real quick. Gotta take a look at it. So this is how it looks in the back. Really nice and caked up, real good. So yeah, now I'm going to dedicate to cleaning all the excess grease and call it a day. Start putting back together again. And see why the grease, see all that caking? Gotta get that off the magnet as soon as possible before I mount up on the vehicle. Alright, so here are the results. See, everything is nice and clean. At least most of it. I got still a little thin layer of grease that I have to take off, but see that? That's where the sensor is going to go in and go on this and start reading this magnet. You can see how delicate it is. One crack, one break, and it won't work anymore correctly. So, yep, everything's nice. Everything's ready to install back on. And I'm just going to pass another couple rags here in the center, another rags in the corner, and start installing back. And this is ready for reinstallation. There we go. Bueno, Rodrigo, ahí tienes tu valerito, papito. Mira para allá. Nuevecito por todos lados. Mira esa anilla como se ve. Vamos aquí. Mira para allá. Esa anilla como se ve. Esa es la anilla del ABS. Si este valero se instala mal y tan solo se craquea esa anilla, va a tener un ABS de por vida brillándote en el tablero. Pero nada, quedó al 100. Por aquí entra el sensor. El sensor lee la anilla esta. Aquí. Esta anilla la lee el sensor. Y nada. Ella te lee las millas por hora a la que va. Y ya está todo acicado. Mira para allá. Nuevecito todo. Ahora montar para atrás aquí. Alright, so I already got the bolts back up, tightened a little bit. They're supposed to be all at 37 foot-pounds. That's what my electric ratchet can do. So, as you can see here, I got the whole ABS sensor caked in grease. But the flat sides will be absolutely completely dry. I'm doing my best I can here because this is where it gets stuck on because of the rust. So once I put this in with all this grease caked in there, it should help out for next time if this bearing ever goes bad. Well, at least it'll be an easier removal for the ABS sensor and it won't go bad on them. Because other occasions where I deal with these sensors is like a Nissan or other cars, they actually get stuck so bad that when you actually try to move them and cock them back and forth so they can get loose, they actually break. That's how bad and rusted they are inside. So yeah, since this one came out pretty good, I'm going to do the best job I can greasing it up, so it'll be an easier removal for next time, and he'll steer. He won't need to buy another sensor. So yeah, I'm going to go pop that one back in its spot and make sure that that strand of grease there that you can see dangling there won't touch that flat spot. So yeah, I'm going to take it off, and that's going to go in. And I'm going to start tightening and buttoning it up and hopefully finishing up in the next 10 minutes. And here's the finale. Everything is installed back. Marked everything with the blue mark just to make sure that no tampering is going on. And yeah, everything looking nice. Everything is tightened back up. And now he's going to put the rim back.